What happens when a novel lands in Hollywood and comes out the other side as a glossy Miami revenge thriller packed with explosions, sex appeal, and enough ego to level a city block? It opened at #1, it made serious money, but the critics hated it and the award shows mocked it. So how did it go from best-selling book series to a profitable action flick of the 90s? Let's find out. This is the history of The Specialist.
His identity is unknown. An explosives expert, he uses his skills to...
The origin of The Specialist didn't begin with Ray Quick. It began with a different man. In the novels by John Shirley, who was writing as John Cutter, the lead character was Jack Sullivan. The film was inspired by these novels, but the screenplay kept almost none of the original material. The early drafts shaped a new lead. Instead of Sullivan, the film centered on an ex-CIA demolition expert named Ray Quick. After a woman hires him, he falls in love with her. He does not realize that his former bosses are using her as bait to drag him back into their world. That was the spine of the script that Warner Brothers optioned and later bought. The screenplay was written by Alexandra Serros, and it gained industry buzz. In January '93, it was named the best unproduced thriller script by the Los Angeles Times. Due to that buzz, directors came and went. Mario Van Peebles was attached and David Fincher was also linked to the project. Neither stayed on, and eventually Luis Loza stepped in. By the time the production gears turned, the shape was clear. It was a $40 million Warner Brothers production set in Miami with a revenge thriller built around obsession and betrayal. With that concept in place and the production ready to go, the next step was the casting. Initially, the role of Ray Quick wasn't offered to Sylvester Stallone, but it was actually offered to Steven Seagal. But Seagal wanted a $9 million paycheck, and the studio didn't want to pay him that kind of money, so they tried their luck with Sylvester Stallone. Years after the film's release, Stallone said he thought the script wasn't that bad, but he wanted to rework it. He admitted he was pressured into taking the role because the role was going to someone else. He also said he felt like a sellout for taking the role under such pressure, but he promised himself he wouldn't do that again. For the female lead, Sharon Stone came in as May Monroe, the seductive client who pulls Ray back into danger. At the time, Stone was a major name, and the film leaned into her image. Years later, she said she only took the job because she really needed work at the time. Then came the rest of the supporting cast. James Woods was cast as Ned Trent, Ray's former CIA partner who becomes his enemy. The remainder of the supporting cast was filled out by seasoned actors. Rod Steiger joined as Joe Leon, the crime boss of the movie, and Eric Roberts played Thomas, Leon's unstable son. Now, if the casting stacked the screen with star power, the score tried to give the film class. John Barry, an Academy Award-winning composer who scored many of the James Bond films, came in to compose the music. The soundtrack recording took place in Los Angeles with a full orchestra. After the film's release, an album was released under Epic and Sony, featuring Barry's work and included the pop tracks used in the movie.
20 years, she has carried a vendetta.
Waste 'em.
Against an untouchable criminal empire.
Production took place in the summer of '94, with principal photography taking place in Miami. Now, this wasn't a small setup. Luis Loza and Jeffrey Kimball, who handled the cinematography, built large sets, including a warehouse on the Miami River and the nightclub interiors. A specific warehouse was constructed just to be demolished. 8 cameras rolled while it was blown apart. The special effects coordinator, Clay Pinney, and the stunts team handled the destruction without any reported injuries or major accidents. For a film that loved blowing things up, the set itself stayed quite controlled. That control, though, didn't always apply to the atmosphere. The intimate scenes between Sly and Sharon Stone, according to reports, were tense. Supposedly, Stone was reportedly tired of being treated as a sex symbol, and she was reluctant to do any nude scenes. In order to get through them, she and Stallone allegedly took multiple shots of vodka before filming any of them scenes. Stallone and Loza reportedly clashed over the direction of the movie. At the same time, rumors started circulating that Stallone pushed for some of James Woods' scenes to be cut or reshot. The belief was at the time that Woods' performance had so much intensity that it risked pulling attention away from Stallone himself. Eric Roberts also revealed that an early rough cut featured a sex scene between his character and Sharon Stone, but the executives asked for the scene to be cut in post-production. One of them supposedly reacted quite angrily, saying that her character couldn't sleep with everyone because she was meant to be seen as the victim. According to Eric Roberts, the knife confrontation between his character and Ray was written by Stallone on the spot so the two could share some screen time. Roberts also said that his character originally had a bigger role. He said that he rehearsed scenes with Stallone and added his own dialogue. One planned scene had his character delivering a long monologue, and another involved an interaction with a character written as a cameo for Dolph Lundgren. But eventually, none of those scenes were actually filmed. There was also a personal clash that escalated fast. In his autobiography, stuntman Stephen Lambert described an incident during a scene where James Woods pointed a gun at Sharon Stone. The gun accidentally brushed her cheek, and Stone responded with a heated outburst and punched Woods and walked off set. Late changes were also made after the test screenings. Producer Jerry Weintraub admitted that the studio was worried that the film didn't have enough action, so they added an extra fight scene, which was the bus scene with Stallone beating up the aggressive goons.
I hate knives.
When The Specialist hit theaters, it opened at #1 in the United States with a weekend gross around $14 million. By the end of the movie's run, its worldwide total pulled in around $170 million. Financially, it worked. The fans turned up, but the critics didn't like it. The reviews were harsh. Peter Reiner described it as slow and incoherent, but he did, however, single out James Woods and Rod Steiger for their over-the-top performances, almost as if they were playing in a different, more entertaining movie. Roger Ebert went after the movie's plot. He wrote that the film forced characters through torturous dialogue and action to explain a story that was so unlikely it didn't justify the effort. The movie also landed on several worst of the year lists. Janet Maslin of the New York Times ranked it as the 4th worst film of that year. Awards season didn't help. The film received multiple Razzie nominations. It won Worst Actress for Sharon Stone. It also won Worst Screen Couple for Stone and Stallone. It was later included in the official Razzie Movie Guide as one of the most enjoyable bad movies ever made. And yet, the audiences still showed up. They paid to see explosions, villains chewing scenery, and the heat between Stallone and Stone. After its theatrical run, The Specialist moved into people's living rooms. Warner Home Video handled the distribution across every major format available at that time. The first home release came on VHS in 1995. That was the time where you rewinded your tape and hoped that the tracking actually worked. After that, a Laserdisc edition followed that same year. The DVD era arrived in 1998. High definition eventually arrived with the Blu-ray release in 2011. For fans who want to add the movie to their collection, I've added a link in the description below, and there should also be a card popping up on screen to help you check it out.
The only thing I understand anymore is revenge.
You'll only get one of them.
That's why I need you.
Her only hope is a man known.
Once the movie settled in video stores, one thing became clear: there wasn't going to be a sequel. Despite strong box office success, the film never launched a follow-up. Over time, its reputation shifted into a different category. It became known as a very 1990s Stallone action thriller. Recently, the original source material has gained a new life. In 2024, reports surfaced that the screen rights to the original novels had been acquired for a television adaptation. This isn't a sequel to the Stallone movie, but a return to the actual books. So the movie's legacy is a little strange. Financially successful, critically dismissed, mocked at award shows, but revisited as a cult oddity. And now, the novels that inspired it are circling back towards screens again in a new form. You've heard what everyone else has to say, so this is my 2 cents on it. Now, if you sit down and watch The Specialist expecting deep philosophy or a tight layered plot, you're watching the wrong movie. The movie is built to entertain, and on that level, it delivers. It moves at a decent pace and the dialogue is kept light. Explosions and tension carry most of the weight, but honestly, this kind of film doesn't need a complex blueprint. It runs on mood, attitude, and spectacle. Stallone does what Stallone does: a solid presence, controlled intensity, and physical confidence. Sharon Stone stands out in every frame. This isn't because of complicated character depth, but because of her sheer presence. On the other hand, you've got Eric Roberts that handles his role really well. He brings that edge to his character without going completely off the rails. And finally, let's talk about James Woods, who a lot will say he's the highlight of the movie. He's sharp, unpredictable, quick with his delivery, and his performance feels alive in a way that the script sometimes doesn't. And of course, you've got the bus fight scene, which is another moment that I love. Stallone delivering "I hate knives" and slapping the guy across the face multiple times is just amazing. At the end of the day, it's a movie that understands one basic thing: action films are meant to be fun, and The Specialist is definitely that. It ain't perfect, but it's definitely entertaining. But we're not done yet. Next time we take a look at a different kind of movie. Until then, why don't you check out our previous video on Terminator 3. Thanks for watching, please like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.